Welcome back to the Lipoedema Podcast. We're your hosts, Shell
and Tiana, and today's another episode which is just Shell and I having a chat. We thought we'd sort of tackle our experiences over time with movement and exercise today.
Yeah, it's a really good one. So I think, definitely for me, it has changed over time. I think as I've gotten older, as my lipedema has progressed, it's definitely changed. What I want to do hasn't changed, but my ability to do things has definitely changed.
Yeah. And I feel the same, but not from my lipedema. Yeah, I suppose my lipedema have played into my movement a little bit, or just how comfortable I am or how good I am at doing certain movement patterns have just definitely changed over time.
Yeah.
But I suppose we'll get into that as our chat progresses.
Yeah, for sure. I'll just start.
We need to start somewhere. Where do we go?
I guess as a kid, I played netball. I wasn't particularly good. I was just tall. So, being tall was good. And then I've always and still do love walking. Walking has always been something I've enjoyed, going for big, long walks, bushwalks. I love walking.
Yeah.
It's just, I tried running for a little while and that was good until it wasn't.
Yeah,
I got good at it and then I got bursitis in my hips and so that didn't last very long. But I did some fun runs and some triathlons in that time.
How old were you when you were doing running?
Only 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, so only 10 years ago I decided to have a crack at running. So yeah. But yeah, I wasn't very good at it. I had a bit of a waddle run type action. So yeah, I think that's why my hips ended up being not very good. So yeah, I tried all those sorts of things and so I love walking. I love strength training. Strength training, I don't know, there's something about feeling strong and just lifting heavy shit that I just really enjoy. But I haven't done it for a long time because I just keep hurting myself.
Right.
So I think that's a bit of a hypermobility thing, an age thing. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
It probably all comes into play. But yeah, I just keep hurting myself.
When you were doing strength training, were you with a trainer or were you just doing it yourself, in the gym?
Yeah, just doing it myself in the gym, but I had a program I was following from a trainer. But yeah, I was by myself in the gym and yeah. So I guess I wasn't really knowing if my form was any good or anything because I didn't have someone with me to check that.
Check on you, yeah. I also find that especially with strength training, you know what you're capable of, as in what your PBs are. And so I know from me personally, I always want to see progress in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not always feeling up to that.
Yeah.
And so my brain's but I can do this. So why can't I do it today?
Yeah.
And that's where I tend to find where my injuries are because my capacity is lower, but my brain thinks that my PB is my standard.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're going for that progressive overload as well, because you want to get stronger. You want to, define those muscles. But yeah, if you're not up to it, you just, and not having enough rest in between as well. There's so much at play. So probably maybe I would like to get back into it, especially now I'm getting older. But I think having a PT or someone to guide me, at least for the first little bit, getting my form right and all of that might be a good idea. But that's definitely something I'd like to do.
Yeah, nice. Because there's nothing like that confidence when you feel strong.
Yeah. And I guess in the gym, you don't only have to do free weights. You can do the machines, which sort of put you in the right position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
If you're sitting on the leg press, you're sitting right on the leg press. It tells you where to put your feet. It tells you where to push. So I guess they have simplified it. Yeah. But I still think someone being there with me telling me, how to do things better. Before COVID, I used to go to boot camp.
Yeah.
And I was at boot camp 5 o'clock every morning, 5 days a week. And I did that for years. And it was the same group of women every day. And then we'd have these little challenges and we'd go out and we'd do Zumba classes and we just had so much fun. But just the tribe that you create when you go to things like that and you're all doing it together, I bloody loved that.
Yeah.
I loved that
so
much.
Group fitness.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved that so much. And then, I never went back to, so the person that I was doing it with didn't continue it after COVID, I guess. So I just never went back.
So what are you doing these days in terms of movement for yourself?
Not a great deal.
Yeah.
Not a great deal.
Lots of walking.
I try to walk. At work, like I do like 7,000 or 8,000 steps a day.
Yeah,
even
you've got an
without
active job.
Yeah.
You're
And I was going to P3 in the mornings and doing sauna, and then in the pools, walking up and down in the pools, and vibration plate, which they're not technically exercise though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I know it does get your lymph pumping, but as in a cardio
yeah.
type thing or a build muscle thing, I haven't been doing anything like that for a very long time, and I think I need it.
Yeah, you want to get back into it.
Yeah, because the amount that helps your mind as well. I think I really need to, at some stage, get back into that.
Yeah.
Because, I bloody love it.
Well, we were talking offline about a new gym that's opening up near your area. Perhaps that's a catalyst.
Yeah.
That could get you, back to doing some form of strength training or something.
Absolutely. So I was telling Tiana there's a gym down the road from my house. It's going to open sometime late June, and they have a recovery centre within that. So like a P3 and a gym, and reformer Pilates is included, hot yoga is included. They've got a hydro bed, like the amount of add-on things this man was telling me. So I had an interview with the guy today, and foundation members $29 a week.
Yeah, that's really
for everything.
All of that stuff. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and that's for the first 12 months. So you get 12 months at that rate.
Yeah.
And it's like 3Ks from my house.
And I think like that distance between your house is such like an important thing, and like I'll get into my experience later, but like the least resistance that you have, the better to get there on a regular basis.
Because it's a cognitive load. Like, the more you have to plan, the time, the energy, everything you have to put into anything is going to impact you. So the easier something is, like, you hear of people who go to bed in their gym gear. So they jump up, brush their teeth, out the door they go. Like, I see sense in that.
Yeah.
Like, even Steve Jobs, he wore the same clothes. Like, he had the same outfits and he would just grab them. So he didn't even have to think about what he was going to wear.
Tuesday, Wednesday, yeah.
So it makes perfect sense. And I'd been talking, because my daughter goes to the gym very often. She does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so she's very fit and into fitness. And I was saying to her, well, I need to find a gym on my way to P3 so I can go to the gym and then go to P3, because P3 doesn't open till 6. So I could go to the gym at 5, get that in, go to P3. And we were just trying the logistics of it. And then it's like, well, what do I wear? Do I wear my swimmers under my gym gear? And it was just all got too much. I was like, bin it.
Yeah.
It's too much for me. But to go to one place that's got everything, I can go get changed.
Totally.
Yeah, I think it'll work. And also for me, one of those terrible people who goes, I have to go every day. But I don't.
All or nothing?
Yeah, I don't have to. So maybe even just 2 or 3 times a week, like, I don't have to do it all the time. And this gym also has a 24/7 access.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you can go anytime. So if I wake up super early and go, I can doom scroll, or I can go to the gym.
Yeah.
I can go to the gym if I want to. Or I can just doom scroll some more. Yeah. So I'm really not doing anything.
Yeah, okay.
At the moment.
Except for sort of walking.
I put my gym gear on yesterday. I was like, okay, I'm going to go for a walk. I hopped on my vibration plate, but I did something.
Yeah, exactly. You got your body moving in some way. And I think, like, depending on where we're at in our lives and in our physicality, like, it will ebb and flow that way. I mean, considering we're talking to Lipoedema, the community of Lipoedema, we have a very diverse group of accessibility requirements, and some of us can do whatever we want to do with modifications, and some of us are defined to a small set of things, and maybe only being on a vibration plate for a small bit of time is what they're able to do. Or being in a pump or something, and that's still moving some part of the body, but it's not exercise.
Yeah, it's a passive exercise, not an active exercise. Yeah. Yeah, it still gets the lymph flowing. It doesn't have all of the other components, like the mental health, components, and the cardio health components.
Yeah, and I feel like that the euphoric feeling of exercise, like, you know, I find that to be something that I like to chase when you get into the habit. But when you're out of the habit, it's really hard to want to do that because you hurt before you get to that point. So you have to like go through the hurt first. Whereas as you get more practice, the hurt becomes like less and moves into that euphoric sort of area.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. So there's some, like, within this chat, we've determined that like you think you're kind of ready to move into some more activity, and strength training is probably something that could help you.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think so.
Yeah.
Because I'm 50 now, you know, and our muscle and our bones and everything really need us to look after them a bit more. So I think even just some basic stuff, I think I need to incorporate.
And even like non-weight stuff that you could do.
Yeah, some body weight things, or I might
even in the lead up before this gym opens.
Yeah.
So then you don't go there and wake up in the morning and go, I can't move for 5 days.
That's a good idea.
Which is legitimately what would happen to me. I'll be like, I'm going to start this. And I'll be like, holy moly.
I don't want to go anymore.
Yeah. I can't go until, you know, Tuesday week because I have to recover.
So I did that because I tried Reformer Pilates. Was that on the Christmas school holidays? I got a pass, and it was like a week pass for $40 to try Reformer Pilates. And I'd always wanted to try it. And so the day I went, I loved it, but it kicked my ass. And it was only afterwards I found out that I hadn't gone to the intro class. I'd gone to the advanced class, and it was like a thigh and butt burn class. I didn't go back.
Yeah. Trial by fire.
Everything hurt for like a week. I was like, my lower back, my hips, my knees, is like all telling me that, it had been worked. But the lady was like, oh, you've got such good form and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and I go a bit harder.
And then you keep going. I know. They do that on purpose. You're like, I am the master. And all of a sudden you can't
No, I've never done this before. I'm just natural.
I haven't been naturally gifted at anything my whole life. But if somebody says that to me, I'm definitely going to perform on the spot. I'll be like, yes, it's
my thing. I found it.
Finally. Oh, God.
All right. So that's me. How about you?
My relationship with movement has changed so much over time because, you know, I come from a dancing background, and so I never used to work out. I was always dancing. You know, before school I had ballet class, after school I had ballet class, and then musical theatre or character or tap or something. So like before and after school I was moving. And back in, you know, the 90s and early 2000s, you were never taught, even when you were serious about dance, you were never taught about recovery or training. Like you trained in class.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you need to work on the strength in blah, blah area, go to the gym and do blah, blah movement. It was like you need to be better at this in class.
Yeah, so just keep going.
Keep going in class.
Yeah.
Keep doing it in class. Keep, you know, working in class. And so I never worked my body to improve my dancing. And from an adult perspective, you know, in hindsight, like you train to be good at something, but we were never taught that, and I was very young. So I never went to the gym because I'm like, well, I exercised most of the day during dancing. And even when I was dancing professionally, we were dancing almost all day. Why would I go to the gym?
Yeah.
Fully necessary. I never knew.
Yeah.
Never knew. So then when I stopped dancing full time, I went to the doctor and I was like, I'm going to put on weight because I'm going from like dancing to not dancing. They're like, exercise more, eat less. And I'm like, how can I exercise more if I was exercising literally all day and now I'm doing a desk job? Like, I'm sorry, it doesn't compute. Yeah. So then I started to do like, you know, gym memberships, and I would go to the classes because I'm used to class formats.
Yeah.
Like I did dance class my whole life. So I was always scared of the weight section. I used to do the classes. And as you know, back then it was, you know, in the 2000s, it was small, size 0, you know, Paris Hilton's and like be smaller.
Which is like cardio.
It was cardio,
Doing
metabolic workout,
and,
cardio, that sort of stuff. So it sort of lended quite nicely to the time, I suppose. But yeah, most of my workouts were to make my body smaller. I never built my body, never ever built my body.
Yeah.
And I never thought I needed to because most of my focus was always to lose weight and be smaller. So then as I became an adult and I realized that there's a lot of life admin in going to the gym, I don't know how I switched, but it turned into home workouts. And I would roll out of bed, put on something in the dark, so I wouldn't even care what I looked like, but went into my lounge room, put on a YouTube workout and do that. And that worked really well for me. But again, it was metabolic workouts, and I would use weights, but it would be like max 4 kilo dumbbell sort of thing. So it wasn't to strengthen and build muscle. It was like metabolic to make smaller. And I dabbled a little bit in like Pilates and stuff like that, just because Pilates and dance have like this interconnectedness, you know, with core strength and stuff. But that stuff was always hard. And in fact, ballet was always hard because my legs were always very heavy, but I never knew it was because of my lipedema. I thought it was just because I wasn't strong enough and like I needed to be in class more. So it all connected when I got my lipedema diagnosis. That stuff was hard because it's hard.
Yeah.
Because my legs are heavy and they're full of inflammation and they're not like other people's legs. And also in Pilates, I don't know if you had this experience, but you know, when you lie down and do exercise the side lying, it really hurt. It hurt where the contact with the floor on my hip, like where my lipedema was. Also like the tree pose, you're standing up and you're leaning your foot against your leg. Ow, no, thank you. Ouch, hurts too much. Anyway, makes sense now. And when my husband and I got together, he was doing triathlons. So I wasn't into doing triathlons, but I started running. So I had a little bit of a relationship with running as well. And he is so naturally athletic that he could run circles around me, and I ran almost daily. I would go for a run in the morning to see if I could build up the endurance to, you know, meet him somewhere. And he would always very kindly hold himself back to run with me, but I would struggle. And I was practicing daily, trying to run, trying to be faster. And now I recognize it wasn't the workout for me. It wasn't the right thing for my body to do. And my legs were heavy and they weren't going to go as fast as his legs. Light bulb moment. And we did boot camps as well. We used to do boot camps together, and I look on those days very fondly because we connected in those ways. My husband and I connected with exercise a lot. But when we moved away from, when we bought our house, we weren't near like a boot camp place. And also it was a different time of our life where we needed to be a bit more conscious with our spending. So we stopped that kind of thing. And I would continue running and he would run with me sometimes. And I went back to my, you know, lounge room workout so that there was no life admin. There was no cost involved. It was just get up, roll out, do my metabolic workout. Awesome. When I had my twins, I ended up with diastasis recti, and I had about 6 months where I wasn't able to work out because of my abdominal separation. And I really struggled with that because, again, my mind was like, I need to be smaller, I need to be smaller, I need to be smaller. When I went back to exercise again, it was like that metabolic type workouts. I really did that for many, many years. In fact, up until now, where I recognize how important strength training is. Probably 2 years ago, I think I bought my dumbbells that they're adjustable. So they go up to 24 kilos each, and they're in like 1 or 1.5 kilo increments. And you just twist them and then you pick them up and it's the weight that you need them to be.
Oh, cool.
Instead of having like a rack.
Yep.
So when I bought those, I realized that I could start doing strength training. And so I started incorporating strength training into my schedule, and I signed up to a fitness program. At that stage, it was Fitness Blender, which is an American company, and they do a lot of the fitness things that I watched and did metabolic workouts on YouTube for free. And so I thought, well, I'm already using their service. I may as well use their paid platform. And it was like $70 a year or something. So I was like, yeah, I'll pay for that. And they have little programs within. So I just followed along, and it was really good because I didn't have to think about what I wanted to do in the morning.
Yeah.
So that was really good. And now, you know, when I got pregnant with Nova, I tried to work out throughout the pregnancy as much as I could. And I probably did better and did quite a bit of strength training, but not like, I can't max out at home. Like you can't push yourself at home with strength training. And then I sort of got a taste for it, I suppose. But in saying that, you're still time poor. So my strength training still had an element of metabolic workout in it, just because you don't have time to rest.
Yeah.
You know, like I only have half an hour that I can work out in the morning before I have to do life. That's just the reality.
Yeah.
So I can't rest for a minute every set.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I acknowledge that the way I'm doing strength training is not purely strength training, but like, hey, that's all I've got.
Yeah. Yep.
So now currently I am trying to get up in the morning and do some kind of movement, whether that be the vibration plate and a diastasis recti repair, because of course I had another baby and my ab separation has gone out again, but it's not so much that I was cleared for exercise. So I can still do things. And if I don't have time in the morning because, we had a bad night, we had no sleep, the girls woke up early, whatever, I see, because I'm still on maternity leave, if I can fit in a walk or two during the day. Like you, I absolutely love walking. Going for a walk makes me feel like I can handle life again when I'm outside and going for a walk. So I definitely use that as a tool. And I go to a Mums and Bubs fitness class with a PT who runs her classes out of her home. And it's great because it's a small group fitness. We all have our babies there and she, helps us if they're being fussy or whatever. And it's strength and hardly a lot of rest. So it's metabolic as well. So it's very like how I'm used to training anyway. But sometimes she doesn't have other mums there and I get a PT session.
Yeah.
So we work on maxing out.
I love that.
For the first time in years, I get to see where my strength really is, which is not there yet, but it's actually very fun and I love it and everything hurts and it's the best and I want to do it forever. So up until I go back to work, which is in late July, I will continue these Mums and Bubs classes and sometimes PT sessions to try and get to the point where at home I can put more strength on my dumbbells.
Yeah.
I'm not going to max out at home. I'm going to be safe, but I want to put more weight on the dumbbells and do workouts at home that are more strength based rather than metabolic. So that's my goal and I'm loving it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's evolved a lot.
Yeah.
Both of ours we've gone through the same things.
Yeah.
But at different periods of our life.
Yeah. Yeah. And come to different realizations for different reasons too.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
But we feel like we're both at strength is our goal now.
Yeah.
From now on, building muscle is our goal.
Mm-hmm.
Would you
Absolutely.
agree?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then also walking, because walking's just beautiful.
Walking's the best.
Yeah.
It's anyone can do it. Most people do. I shouldn't say anyone. Most people can do it. You don't have to go for an hour-long hike. You can go just for 10 minutes and walk around the block. And it just gets your heart pumping, gets your muscles going, gets your lymph going, clears your head. Yeah.
Or out in the elements. I like walking down to the nearby park and there's lots of trees. So I like taking the path where you're covered with a canopy of trees and I just where I want to be. I can do life now.
Yeah, all that fresh oxygen from the trees. Yeah.
It's nice because I've gotten over in a pram, so I get a bit of resistance in there as well when I go up a hill. I'm going to miss that. I remember when the girls transitioned out of, they didn't want to be in their pram anymore, and I was really sad because my walks now couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't get in the pram anymore. So I'm really loving this. I'm loving that she still loves being in the pram.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I don't know how to end this episode. Strength training.
We're getting into strength. And I don't know if you've seen, we would have seen them, but I can't remember the exact phrase they're using, but it's about how we want to be strong for different things in our lives. It's not an aesthetic thing. And they show the old man, with one dumbbell, he's doing that sort of dumbbell move. And then it shows him holding his grandchild up or and I think, we want to be as independent as we can. So if we fall, we want to be able to get back up, and I think that's the biggest driver for me now. It's if I fall or if something happens, I want to be able to get myself back up. I want to have the strength and mobility to get myself back up.
You want to be able to pick up your groceries.
Yeah.
You want to be able to get up off a chair without using your arm strength. Yeah. 100%. You want to be able to reach for an item that's on a top shelf.
Yeah, it's more functional strength more than check out my guns.
100%.
The guns will be nice too.
But because we have a lot of talk about effort doesn't equal outcome in terms of aesthetics for us. So flipping it to be a functional thing rather than an aesthetic thing makes us win regardless.
Yeah.
We're going to win whereas we can't really win aesthetically.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, it's been helpful for me. Like, I want to be strong. I want to feel strong and confident. And you get that with strength training.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
That's all from us.
That is all.
Until next episode.
The Lipoedema Podcast 2025 is powered by Elegance Lymphatic Care. Lipoedema and its symptoms vary from individual to individual. The opinions and advice voiced in this podcast are of a personal nature and used for educational purposes.
Please take away from this podcast what resonates with you, and please see your GP or preferred specialist for diagnosis and healthcare. We are Shelley and Tiana from the Lipoedema Podcast. Until our next episode, bye for now.